Hey everyone, RemanX here with a very, very special announcement here. Right now, there is an issue, and it was just announced here on the server. Ghost is, while farmable, she is only currently appearing in the upper left-hand corner of your war store, which means that if you spend some effort and energy to refresh her, aka cores, the team is aware about it, and I'm sure they'll be addressing the issue soon. So more importantly, may not be time to refresh it. I know as part of the legendary event, she is going to be in high demand. So I'm hoping Scopely resolves this quickly. But this video is about where to use Ghost now that you, well, built her up for Dark Dimension 4. So realistically, a lot more ghosts are popping up in the game. All right, no Ghostbuster references intended here, but there are a lot more ghosts popping up in game, and we probably need to learn how to bust them. I went there anyway. So we can figure out how to beat her, where to use her, how to use her effectively, and what are some of the things that make her great. Well, one thing I will say is she is a dynamo. She's really hard to kill. So she basically extends any of her counters. At G15, Supernatural fails to be a reliable counter against her. They just don't have enough damage, even with, unless you've got a large enough Elsa to pop her off, she is probably going to just out damage them. Her big ult will take many of the characters off the field. They just don't have enough hit points to survive that. So as a warning, as you see larger and larger ghosts, you may find that a reliable counter does not exist. Now, I have a video that recommended the way to beat him, and it is BH 2.0, because some things that happen to her all the time are she will get blinded, even though her ult's unavoidable. You could also use the special from Magneto to basically grind her to a halt, make sure she doesn't get those passive evades, and once she drops below 50%, she won't get to heal up. So even if you wind up behind a little bit in that matchup, as long as your BH 2.0 is about 10% below her, you should be able to get it down. Remember, I have brought my BH 2.0 up to level 80 because there are a lot of high-profile teams that they're going to be able to beat, and I'm currently using them to beat Pimtech reliably, and that may change down the road. So we're going to have to talk about that. Other teams that can beat them obviously are Inhumans because of the unavoidable damage from Black Bolt, but you may already have them on defense or maybe using them elsewhere. And then other reliable counters are anything that consists of unavoidable damage. So remember that. Don't want to waste a big team if you can help it. So I've seen it work on Marauders. I'm not a big fan of that because Marauders is typically a target for a team like X-Force, and X-Force is going to exploit things like dodge. So I don't think Marauders is probably going to command reliably two counters, right? Probably Black Order and X-Force. So probably don't recommend it on that team unless you've got a really big ghost and you want to just extend that and force the Black Order. Remember, most people are going to be comparing your Marauders and looking at the size of the Strife. The size of the Strife is how you determine if they are beatable by any team featuring Ultron, right? So Ultron has to match that Strife in damage. Anything over 6 red star G14 he's going to struggle with. He's not going to be able to pop through that before he gets his second taunt up. That being said, I've seen her as a very effective 5th member on the Wave 1 Avengers, being able to extend the blinds from Hawkeye. It is just a chaotic team, and that is something that she gets energy. It can happen turn 2, extending the stuns. It is pretty effective and pretty dangerous when you think about it in that regard. She winds up great as a 5th on offense for a lot of teams, being able to extend that, have her own heals and sustain. Some people are using her with dad bros just to be able to extend those bleeds that they're applying, but more importantly, have some reliable factor in there. Remember, you're making an investment in this character for Dark Dimension, but she has actual uses outside of Dark Dimension. I do use her on the current skill tech lane. I use her to extend debuffs from Hawkeye from Black Widow, and from Zemo. So I actually use her in concert with those characters. I probably use a character like Shuri and Minerva to balance them out, feed them some energy, and it winds up being a good alternative team. As raids go up, you do know that this team is actually really good in the actual raids that feature the Pimtech and Wakanda team. There are a couple of combos that actually are really, really well done. I do like the Ant-Man, Ghost, Shuri, Killmonger combo with the fifth kind of filling in based on red stars or what you need. That being said, the whole team is actually really well built together. The drawback is I don't think a lot of people are going to G14 or G15 the rest of the team right now. I think the design element of the team was built towards potentially being able to breeze through Dark Dimension 4, but as you guys have seen, it's actually more important to bring up characters that are relevant to your roster that are going to extend that power. If you guys haven't taken a look at what CM Punk and Philosopher came up with, I'm going to put that in the comments. Make sure you guys hop on their server, take a look at the work that Punk does some awesome infographics, but it really sums up what we've been trying to say in our DD4 planner for a while, that really there is no right answer, but there are a lot of wrong answers, especially if you're building up characters that you'll never use again to work in the Dark Dimension. So she is someone that is very usable. She is probably harder to beat than you anticipate. So blocking her heal block, slowing her down with unavoidable abilities. Think about any character that has unavoidability are a way to counter. And then think about anything you're using when there are a ton of debuffs here. And so there are other alternatives when she's extending those debuffs. So it's actually really good control. And I found out that, and we're going to make this game-breaking news for you. Okay, we're going to talk about this. There are people that have gotten through the first parts of Dark Dimension. They may be in the top 50 or 100, and they didn't bring Ghost into Dark Dimension 4. Okay? I want to make sure you're clear about that. You can do Dark Dimension 4 without Ghost. Okay? And the reason why they do that is they ensure they have Hela. They take up a character like Merc Lieutenant, and they bring up a character like Doc Ock and maybe Shuri for the final node. What they're doing is they're banking on extra tech mats. Now, I know that Sinister and Ghost made it easy. We saw that a 5-red 5-star Ghost was able to punch through it, and we saw some lower ones. I think Rai, if you guys haven't taken a look at the awesome streamer Rai, is casing a little bit lower Ghost than you guys might see on my account. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You can catch him on Twitch. He's showcasing a little bit different power level of a Ghost. So we're able to see a lot of different functions of the team. She's probably just having a little bit more trouble surviving. But like I said, you can do it without Ghost. We definitely have that feedback. But she does make it a lot easier. And she is a super fun character to play with. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, last piece of this puzzle is Ghost is really annoying in RTA. So is real-time arena going to be a thing? And, well, you guys all know my personal opinion on real-time arena. So is she a thing? Okay. Well, very, very possibly she is in a couple of the power comps for control elements. If we start seeing a lot of Dooms, we were talking about her as being a potential counter to Doom because of when her ability extend goes off, being able to ability block certain characters in that window for 2 turns, extending it for a 3rd turn. Just think about that combo really quickly. She's able to control the field really well. So if you have a control team, like that old blue Magic deck, right? She fits into that very, very well. So I would say that Ghost is probably a character that might wind up in some of the emerging arena metas if Bishop and Jubilee become a thing. We'll have to see what happens if Jubilee and Bishop are enough to shake up the arena meta with Doom. I'm not sure. I'm holding out hope that Black Order can get dethroned, but that still hasn't happened just with Red Guardian and Doom yet. Stay tuned. We will see. So, again, worth the investment. Probably a reasonable solution. She has a lot of places she can fit in. I know people have used her as a fifth on Supernatural in place of Elsa to do a lot more control. And so she is a potential plug and play candidate for a lot of offense and defense teams, and she's become the proverbial wild card. All right, guys, love you much. Remember, I do things so you don't have to. Just finished my Cosmic run. City's on the way. We'll have some feedback about that soon. Love you much.